Hello, welcome to Beyond Labels. I'm Dr. Stina McCullough. I'm here with farmer Joel Salatin. Today's a very special episode because springtime is upon us and it's time to get out there and plant a garden. Whether you're a beginner like me or an expert like Joel, this is an opportunity for all of us to kind of get our hands in the soil, start becoming more food independent, and grow our microbiomes. So in this episode, Joel is going to talk to us about gardening. All right, take it away, Joel.
Thanks, Tina. So yeah, it is time to get this in the ground. We've certainly had a wonderful break in the weather here, at least in our area of the country. And so let's think about some of the things that you want to think about as you plan your garden. The first thing I would suggest is that obviously you need to get a good seed bed for growing. You can do this by hand. You can do it with a broad fork. You can do it with tillage. There are lots of techniques. I mean, you can go into a yard, put down like three a nice big heavy barrier of cardboard. Just take some boxes, break them up, and put about 3 layers of cardboard down on a lawn, and put compost and dirt on top of that, about 12 inches, and boom, you have a garden. And the cardboard just kills all the grass. So by the end of the season, you have a whole garden bed. So there are some really neat non-tillage techniques that you can use to jumpstart if you're a little bit behind the 8 ball, to get your garden in right now. Now, the other thing is to all of your, summer things, your frost susceptible stuff, tomatoes and peppers and things like that, especially, you can start those and get a jump start on the season. You don't want to go out with them until after frost, but you can certainly jump start them. You can put seedlings. You can put seedlings in eggs. You can take a carton and knock the top off of a bunch of eggs after you've eaten the eggs, obviously, and you can plant seeds in those eggs. A lot of people do that, and then when you plant them in your garden, the egg gives you a lot of calcium for the little transplants. It makes a real cheap non recyclable way to start your little seedlings. And a tomato can be 4 or 5 inches tall in a little egg casing. So you can start those in the house on a windowsill, move them around, take them in and out every day. But if you're just growing for yourself, goodness, a dozen tomatoes can give you a lot of tomatoes. I want you to think about focusing your energy on good technique and robust plants, not trying to grow way too many plants. A couple of plants grown well will be much more enjoyable and out yield 20 plants growing poorly because you either don't have enough time or place or whatever. One of the most successful tomato experiments I ever did was we had a spot out here past the lawn, kind of in the edge of the field, and I didn't want to till everything up and all that, so I just went out with the shovel and just made little round spots about 12 to 18 inches. Took a shovel and just kind of tore up that sod and mashed it all up, and planted my tomatoes in there and staked them. And and for the first month, as the tomato plants were really growing and getting good, I just mowed the lawn. In other words, imagine you've got your lawn and you've got these little holes. Instead of a tree, it's a tomato, right? And you can mow, and I just you can just put a little bit of cardboard out from that tomato plant so you don't hit it with the lawnmower, and there's no weeding. You just mow your garden, and the sod offers a lot of protection and hydration protection for your plants. So uh, if you're behind the eight ball, you feel, oh man, I just haven't had time to get all this stuff ready. These are some things that you can do literally in 5 minutes. You can go from nothing to having something in the ground. And so, that's kind of my big tip for the moment. As far as, if you've got beds and things like that, you want to think about succession through the season. So you've got your early stuff like broccoli and lettuce and carrots and things like that. But then they're going to wane as it gets hotter and the season progresses. So, square foot gardening is all about successional planting. So again, we're not thinking about a lot of space. We're thinking about how much can we put in a given space. So for example, as the lettuce comes out, you should already have pepper plants, or you could plant green beans in there, something that's later season. It could be 10 or 12 inches tall by the time your lettuce comes out, and that's the way you speed up so that you keep this garden spot extremely prolific. I mean, the biggest waste in the world is, here you are, you've put all this effort in, a certain number of square feet of garden space, and then you're not fully leveraging it, utilizing it for something, growing all the time. The people that do this best are probably Singing Frogs Farm in Petaluma, California. And they're basically bringing a harvestable crop off of every square foot every single month of the year. Now, they are in Petaluma, which doesn't get frost and they can grow year round. But I want you to think about the unbelievable productive capacity of having something harvestable from every square foot every month of the year. So of course they everything starts. They don't plant any seeds. I don't even think they plant carrots as seeds. Everything gets planted as a start and a little baby plant, so they don't have to wait for that, that 3-week period of germination and getting the plant up and running. They can go right in, and then it goes faster. One other thing that I'll just mention here is think about height and shade. So as you're thinking about succession, what am I going to plant next in this spot as that comes, is that fit, like the beets? Think about me, beets grow real fast. Radishes grow incredibly fast, and you can go from seed to having something to eat in whatever, 40, 50 days. Okay. Which means 40, 50 days from now, there's going to be room there for something else. Maybe a green bean, a pepper plant, a squash. A squash is excellent. But be thinking about your succession so you don't get caught with underutilized or unutilized space. And then think about your shade, your height. So the sun's going to come in from the south, and so you can either have something, you can extend your season and cool things down by putting something high, like for example, say, pole beans, or something that you're going to trellis on the south side to shade some late lettuce or something on the north side, or you can put your shade, you can put your high thing, you can trellis up some cucumber vines on the north side and leave the front side for things like green beans, peppers, that sort of thing. And so think about the way the light is going to come in, so you don't inadvertently have something that's tall on the south side shading out something that needs a lot of sun on the north side. So a little bit of planning can go a long way. Just kind of look at your season, look at your calendar, look at your days to maturity, and think through, okay, I've got whatever it is, I've got 200 days of frost-free growth. I've got 250 days with frost, and so you're thinking through those kinds of those kind of elements. I mean, sweet potatoes and potatoes obviously are frost, they're frost prone, so you can't plant those till after frost. But again, you can put in those sweet potato little cuttings, sweet potato cuttings, long before, in between the beets and the carrots as you harvest them, so that the sweet potatoes are already well established, and they're starting to grow, as you finally harvest your last, beets and carrots, your early stuff.